Welcome back to the channel. All right, it's time to talk about the newest champion in the game, Jack O'Lantern. He is awesome, but I want to make sure you know what you're getting, right? We're going to cover Awakened Ability, Recoil Friendly, Synergies, what does he do, how to play him, that whole thing. I'll address it right now because I don't think it's worth taking up a ton of time. Recoil Friendly, I don't think that's really his gig. No bleed or poison resistances or immunities, and you want to be throwing your specials. Okay, let's jump into this. The really cool thing about Jack is he very much counters Onslaught. If you're going to counter Onslaught, you're going to have a lot of other utility as well. The damage has got to be pretty good. We're going to start off with just showing you his special 2. The final 2 hits inflict Incinerate and Poison, 2 pretty large debuffs. This is on the CCP server. Everything's going to be a 7-star rank 2 Sig 20, right? And you're going to see, we're just going in and just hitting him. You're going to see the Plasma call out. Jack is one of those tech champions that cannot crit, and he's got a crit replacement, which is Plasma. I'm going to show you a Synergy later. It's going to add on some to this, kind of give him a little more configurability. But you can see we're just going up to our special 2. We're getting those orange passes in the upper left-hand corner. We'll talk about that in the next fight. We heavy into our special 2, get the really nice passive precision, and then you can see the massive damage coming off. That's just a special 2. So you Battlegrounds players, you War players, I think you got something here. This is about 270,000 health. You can see that could have gone up to 300 very, very easily. And that's just going straight to the SB2, playing incredibly, incredibly simply. The full 4th is the AI on the CCP server was giving me fits. I'm like, I'm just going to play this simply. And it turned out really, really well. Now let's go ahead and build on that. Talk a little bit more. He's all about these inflamed passive. Those are those orange passives I was showing in the upper left-hand corner. You can see that there for the every 3 damaging effects. I don't want to read to you, right? But that's how you're going to get there. You're going to get this crit damage rating, and that is going to modify a lot of what he does. So he's really interested in these crit damage rating, so like your stat focus, things like that. You're going to get that plus ability accuracy. I know that might seem strange, but when you think about he's going to be going up against Onslaught, potentially a domino counter, that's never, never bad. You're going to get 2% for each one of those inflame passes. And then the energy resistance. We'll talk about that when we place them on the tier list. I do think that's really good. But I don't think you should, this is not the same as like Guardian, just starting off with a massive energy resistance, okay? And then the other really important part here is this last bullet point I'm showing on the screen that's gonna help you out with like, they showed it on the deep dive, Mike showed it with like Werewolf, damage, things that happen into your block on a special. Again, this is helping you with Onslaught. But remember, Onslaught's got that plus 50% flat ability accuracy, and then you can see the built-in counter there. As long as you're getting up, your inflamed passives will show you they're not that bad to build up, okay? So this is a big deal for Jack. You want to get these inflamed passes. You can see that you can pause them for 5 seconds if you intercept. The really cool thing is I do think he's tailored more towards Battlegrounds and War. I don't think you're going to worry about that because you're going to see how much damage you can do. The reason I am heavy canceling into my special 1, you're going to see it here, is going to grant that really massive precision passive, okay? And then the special 1 is going to help you ramp. You're going to get 4 of those inflamed passes, right? And then if you have that damage replacement, you're going to get even more. So should get a minimum of 4. Let's see how many we get. This is the bigger Healthpool Cyclops. We're not going to show the whole fight because I just don't think that's what he's meant for. It starts to carry on and go on, and it's just not worth it. But remember, it's about 900,000 health. So let's see what the SP1 into SP2 loop does, right? And like I said, we got an intercept there, so you can see the pause. And like I said, the AI was giving me fits. Let's not worry about that. But we heavy, we get the really nice passive precision. We get the inflamed passives there. We're all the way up to 8, where you can get up to a max of 15. So depending on how that goes, I guess in theory, you could do another special 1, but you're going to see really not necessary. Really don't need to get up to 15. And then remember all those really big benefits we're getting for every single one of them. We're up to 12 now. And you can see how much damage the poison and the plasma did. And we got 40% of that health pool down. That is a substantial amount of damage. I think this is going to be good for Battlegrounds and War. And like I said, we're not going to show the rest of the fight because like it kind of starts to labor on. The cool thing is he is now built up. So if you did want to use him, if you just hadn't finished off and you needed that another big SB2, you can just go straight to the SB2. The passives last for 25 seconds, so they last a long time. If you want to land an intercept, or if you happen to land just by plane, you're going to get the pause. You're not really losing your ramp. I really like that about him. He feels very well tailored for what he is supposed to do. Really, really love that. So that's that. Now, he has all this additional utility. And of course, we have to show a duel or a fight against Onslaught because, I mean, Onslaught, his AI, the whole thing, his animations, ridiculous, so difficult as a defender. And the cool thing is, if you're tailored to defeat Onslaught, that means you're going to have abilities and utility that are not only good for Onslaught, are going to help you elsewhere. We're also going to talk about a signature ability here. The first thing to point out here, right, is that he can block non-contact attacks. It's great against Onslaught. And then I know what you're thinking is like, but now you've got the Daunted on, and you're correct. So that means we will not be get willpower healing. However, thanks to the signature ability, a heal does kick in when you have passive damaging effects. The Kabam did a really nice job of tailoring this because you could end up making this absurd, broken, overpowered champion if you just tried to blanket cover everything and didn't tailor finely to the champion that like Onslaught here. But again, because it's Onslaught, this utility is going to be good elsewhere. You can see the really nice bulwark on there too, so we could just block the specials. The other thing that I did want to point out was we landed our combo in a 4th light. That's putting that cowardice on there. Not only is that going to make us more tanky, but it has an AI manipulation factor in there, decreasing their likelihood to throw their special 1, helping you push Onslaught or another champion all the way to their special 2. And then Jack is also immune to reverse controls, again, helping you out with Onslaught special 2, but I know I don't like reverse controls. They mess with me, especially when they change in the middle of a fight. So having someone who's just absolutely immune with these damage capabilities, pretty darn good. I know we sent Onslaught red. I wanted to show you the damage capabilities. This is a rank 3, 7-star on my live account, Onslaught versus a 6-star not even leveled, just a 6-star, not even leveled, SIG 20. So if you get that SIG going, the heal will get actually even stronger. It's not per damaging effect, so you would probably want to play this fight a little more patient than we saw, but I wanted to just kind of go hog wild and show you what could happen in theory, playing this dangerously, how much damage Jack could do into Onslaught, and how you'd still actually come out pretty A-okay. All right, now we're going to talk about the synergies really quick. There is a nice one with Werewolf by Night, Kindred, Morbius. It increases the potency of the cowardice by 50%. Now that's obviously really nice. I can think of matchups where you really do want to place the defender, influence the defender to go to their special 2. Onslaught being the big one. Remember the SB2 honestly, I've practiced the SB1 enough where I'm not sure I find the SB2 to be easier, but it can help you with the flow of a fight. It can help you get a fight down significantly faster. Jack, again, tailored to Onslaught, obviously good elsewhere too, it appears. That could be really helpful. The synergy I just showed you is actually with the goblins, and what it does is it gives him a poison off of the SB2, or better said, it replaces the plasma or incinerate with the poison. The thing is, and I don't want to oversell this, is that you still are landing your plasma's instant damage as your crit replacement. So you're still going to have some issues, but if you really wanted to use Jack and plasma off the SB2 or incinerate off the SB2 was just not going to work for you, you could bring in the synergy. All right, let's go ahead and place him on the tier list. All right, here's Jack's initial placement on the tier list. Remember, this is before I've shown anything to the Illuminati. I've talked to a few of the guys that are in the CCP, so we could talk about it. And ultimately, there was a bit of a consensus on him is that his damage is good enough that you could use him against non-Onslaught. And that's great. That's a really big deal, right? If you're thinking about war or you're constructing your Battlegrounds deck or you're building a questing team, rarely do you want a champion to just have like one job and only one job as far as like only fighting a single champion. That lack of versatility could really hinder them, make them significantly more niche. I don't believe that's where Jack's going to end up. I think people who pull Jack and want someone to just shut down Onslaught, take him out, handle him, and then also be able to be used elsewhere or for other fights or other defenders they might come across, I think Jack's going to fit the bill. So we got a relatively good Battleground score. Remember, we always start off conservatively here, so there's actually room for Jack to move up. Again, in war, you know, he's got the Incinerate immunity, but you could see nodes and things like that Onslaught could be placed on where you might not be able to bring Jack. It's not going to work out for you, and so you'll rely on your other counters. Like I said, though, in your generic matchups, he is going to shut down Onslaught, and Onslaught is so terrifying, right? So difficult that, again, that gives him lasting value. He has a very good general score as far as like the way he's built. His flow is excellent, right? I even showed you could just go straight to SB2 if the health pool is small enough. the SB1 into the SB2, a nice heavy. So there is a bit of a skill ask, but it's not like overdone. It's not a series of jumping through hoops and things like that. The other thing is, if for those of you who followed my channel long enough, you know that sometimes I'll like kind of discredit a champion by saying like too much of their champion budget went to defeating a single defender and like basically embarrassing that defender. It would have been nice if they would be good elsewhere, right? We don't need to embarrass a defender. Just help me beat them and then help me beat a bunch of other defenders too. And I think that's what they did with Jack. You're not embarrassing Onslaught. You still need to play relatively well. If you got him awakened and high sig, you can suffer a few mistakes and be just fine. You're not going to suffer too much. But Jack has the damage abilities and then that utility that is tailored towards Onslaught. I think it's going to be really usable elsewhere. I think it's going to prevent him from being considered niche. Time will tell. We'll update this, and the monthly tier list will be coming out in just a couple of days. And then, of course, you can see how long we've been doing this. Myself, MCoC, Illuminati, and the Spreadsheet Wizards. I do think there's room for Jack to move up. I really do. If he moves down, I think it's just to the top of super hot and not much farther. Even if he was a niche just Onslaught counter, I think that still gets you in super hot for quite a long time. But I'm positive he's significantly more than that. As usual, let me know what you think we got right. Let me know what you think we got wrong. Or if you've recently pulled or ranked an Onslaught or a Jack-o'-lantern, I'd be happy to hear that. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.